Yes, I will get through this, and I will get through this quickly. Hold on a second. All right. Not a YouTube sensation. I'm going to get right to the point, though. I got notes written down. So let's just get to it. Let's get starting on page 1. We're going to have to start this over, aren't we? No, here's page 1 right here. So I'm going to talk about issues first. I had the shifting like a bad torque converter at new. TSB-18-2354 fixed it. Other than that, these 10R80s do adapt to driving. So now my note is to explain how my wife and I drive. Very long story short, she was driving it for a while because of the distance. I didn't want to put 30,000 miles on a brand new truck in 1 year. She's a little light in the foot. When I get in it, I don't speed, I don't drive recklessly, but I try to get up to speed, the speed limit, as quickly as possible. So after her driving it for a few days, I would drive it and it would do the usual torque converter lock up in a gear. It didn't want to shift as crisp and as clean as I normally drive it. After a few days of me driving it, she would drive it and just say, you know, this thing's like a freaking Mustang. It's just all over the place. That's why those 10R80s do that. They do adapt to driving. TSB-18-2354. You all know this one. It did not resolve the cold, off-throttle VCT rattle. They also replaced the exhaust phasers and the associated solenoids to those phasers, and they found nothing wrong. Explain my old 5.4 Triton. I had an 06 5.4 Triton for 10 years. It was 13 years old to trade, 145,000 miles. I didn't so much as replace a headlight on that truck. It had a slight off-throttle, that same noise you hear. At that point, I knew I was trading assumed. Maybe I never heard of it before, but it did it. From what I found, it is the VCT solenoids chattering because of the oil pressure not being optimal at that time. Don't quote me on that. Look up 18-2354, but it doesn't do anything. It has not done anything to my engine. Nothing's broke down. I really wouldn't worry about it because I'm actually not, and I am pretty anal about my things that I own. All right, no failures at this time. It also passed an oil pressure test when I kept bringing it in for that VCT solenoid off-throttle rattle when cold. You know, at low speeds. What is it with the RPMs at around 1,500, 2,000? You guys know which one I'm talking about. They replaced that check valve, the 4x4 check valve, because I brought it in for a moaning sound in 4x4 high when turning on pavement. Throw the tomatoes and eggs at me right now. Okay, I already know why it made that noise. Don't ever drive four-wheel drive on dry pavement unless you're going in a straight line. It still makes that slight moan in four-wheel drive when I'm on deep sand, which is in one of my other videos if you want to watch it. But it's never had any bind-up, wind-up, nothing. But they did replace the check valve. But I did not have the IWE grinding noise. That's not why I brought it in. That's why they replaced the check valve. That's not why I brought it in. Nothing wrong with the 4x4 unit. They replaced my AC evaporator. It just smelled like a locker room one day. I replaced the cabin air filter, sprayed the Lysol through the hood intake. Just watch videos on that because I'm supposed to just be getting to the point. Just watch other videos on that. TSB-19-2041 for the dashboard. I did have the warp dashboard. They replaced it. It was on back order. It took 6 months, but I finally got it. Looking at it right now, it's fine. Then they replaced the seatbelt tensioner. But so far, as you see by the title, I'm at like, what, 44,000 miles now. I have not had a single issue with this truck. Engines that are 100% aluminum, you know, plasma arc, weld, cylinder heads, whatever the case is. So along with variable cam timing motors and high pressure fuel pumps, there's going to be noise. Don't think that because you hear a rattle or a tap or some kind of noise that doesn't sound like, you know, you blew your engine, that there's something wrong. Just I'm going to keep getting to the point because I'm one of those people that doesn't like 30-minute videos rambling on about nothing. Here's some tidbits on Fords for you guys and girls, or whatever you call yourself. I've had 2 Rangers and now 2 F-150s, and they've all had a delay in reverse, the occasional slight vibration at idle in park. They all ran about a half a quart low on oil, and all have and had torque converter lockup when trying to pass someone once in a while. They've all done it. They all have an occasional tapping or ting, 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 ting noise at idle, and all it probably has some kind of piston slap sound on acceleration at around 2,000 RPMs. None ever failed me. Page 2 continued. I do have the startup clunk slam, and here's when. After a drive, park and turn it off, less than 2 hours until you start again. And you start it up, you hear like a bang coming from the back. It is the drive shaft. It's when you put a camera underneath it, and when you start it, it goes like this, really fast. I don't know. Maybe it is that 10R80 fluid pressure buildup. I don't know. My truck is not broke down. Here's how I found a way to negotiate that. It's stupid. Do I think it's acceptable? No. But it has not failed me yet. I don't have any U-joint problems. I have no issues. But here's what I found. Let's say, you're going to the gym. You don't want all the guys to see your Ford start and go, dish. When you pull into the parking lot, put it in park, let it sit like that for 2 minutes while the engine's still on. About 2-3 minutes. And then turn the key off, turn the key on, and just let it sit there for about a minute. Usually, 99% of the time, it will not do the startup clunk within the 2 hours when it usually does it. But it is your drive shaft doing a slam like this. I've been told it's a fluid pressure buildup, but whatever. Is it acceptable? No. Has it caused me any problems whatsoever? None. All right. All right. Yes, I have the slight 10R80 whine. It seems to have actually gotten quieter over time. Here's one you're all looking for. I don't want to say it too loud. People might run in my garage and say, oil consumption. I've done 4 oil consumption tests myself as per the TSB. No, I did not get a longer dipstick. I did not have any TSB performed to it. I've checked the oil as per the TSB. And up to about 18,000 miles, it was using a little more than I would say is normal. By around 30,000 miles, a lot less. After 30,000 miles, it pretty much hasn't moved. I did not have any TSBs done. I did not install any catch cans. Not that that matters. It's not going to solve anything. Nothing's broken. Nothing has happened. It just kind of stopped. I do use full synthetic oil. I guess the brand doesn't matter. I'm not here to advertise anybody. And I use the recommended weight. I do 520 and I do 530. But, again, no issues. I do change my oil every 3,000 to 4,000 miles. Again, I'm not going to ramble on about that. Just look at other videos. A lot of mechanics, they say, I don't care if it's full synthetic. I don't care what brand it is. Do not run your oil for 10, 15, 20,000 miles. Just don't. All right, there goes my passion about that. I've replaced the cabin air filter twice and the engine air filter 3 times, just because. And just because of that one stink with the Smile Liquor locker room. I have used 4-wheel drive on occasions. I put it in 4-wheel drive as per the manual. I'm not rolling and turning and popping into 4-wheel drive. I do not do burnouts with my e-locker. Come on, let's have some common sense. If you're going to start doing burnouts in 4-wheel drive, burnouts with your lockers, come on, it's going to break. It's not what it's meant for. It's for low speed, get out of a jam type situation. So I have not had any 4x4 issues. I personally have changed my transfer case fluid already, and I just redid the rear differential fluid myself. It takes about 2.5 quarts. Don't put friction modifier in it. Just watch other videos on it. You don't need friction modifier. Just get that Motorcraft, what was it called? Look it up, but it's some kind of, I should have wrote that down for you guys, but I didn't. Maybe I'll add it later. And watch videos on how to do that. I've never done it before on any other vehicle. I did it on this one. It's really not hard. Biggest deal is making sure you clean the mating surfaces properly. Explain how I use it as a truck. Well, I have bulldozers dump 6 cubic yards of mulch in it every year. I did pull one heck of a stuck F-150 buried in mud. Mud was my traction. Now, foolishly, I hooked it up to the front recovery hook with a recovery strap, and I pulled it from the back in reverse. I know, more tomatoes, more eggs, whatever. Throw me some punches or slaps to the screen. They did not have tow hooks in the front. I didn't feel like getting dirty hooking it up from the front frame. Don't ever hook it up to a bumper. Anyway, I pulled it out, and it took some slams, but I got it out. I load this thing up a lot with vacation stuff, tons of luggage, coolers, liquids, hundreds of pounds of water, you know, all that stuff for vacations. That's how I use it as a truck. I mean, yeah, I've gone off-road. There's a range I go to, you know, where I just kind of screw around with my wireless peacekeeping devices. And I've already explained that, explain how I use it as a truck, explain how, the body panels. Here's what I say about this body panel stuff. Steel versus aluminum. Number one, your aluminum panels are not going to rust. Hey, win-win right there. Now, what happens when a body panel gets ruined? It gets dented if it's steel, right? It rips if it's aluminum, right? What happens? What happens? What does the insurance company do? They replace the panel, okay? So it doesn't matter if you have aluminum or steel. They're going to get replaced. Your aluminum's not going to rust. No, I don't bang this thing around off-road, but no, I don't have any body problems. There's not a whole bunch of paint chips. There's not a whole bunch of dents, dings, scratches, nothing. So even the body holds up pretty well. It averages 21.6 miles per gallon on the highway, even loaded, even in the summer with the air on. Around town, sure, the 10 already just shift. So you're going to get crummy gas mileage. But the worst, the absolute worst I see around town, because of the current situation our country's in, you know, I'm not driving 39 miles one way to work anymore and then the other way back. Still have PTSD from that drive if you drive on my highway. But anyway, the thing's great on gas. I hope I've answered some questions. And like I said, I'm not a professional here, but these are just some tidbits. I'm sure you people are researching these things all over the internet. Some of the things I've touched on, hopefully I addressed them all. I'll make more videos. Peace out, everybody. Have a good one. That is my truck you see in the picture. It was when I was on the beach, driving on Cure Beach, Fort Fisher.